All right, ready to dive into the world of midwifery. It's going to be a wild ride.
Oh, yeah, we're going way beyond those cute baby photos this time.
Buckle up because we're delivering a deep dive here. And to guide our exploration, we've got these awesome RoleCatcher pages.
Career guides, interview tips, even a glimpse into the tech trends transforming the field. It's all here.
Love it. But let's start with the basics. When we say midwife, what's the first thing that pops into your mind?
Delivering babies, obviously.
Of course. But is that the whole story? RoleCatcher's definition mentions assisting births and caring for newborns, which is a good start.
Right, but then it goes deeper, talking about detecting complications and making sure moms and babies get the specialized care they need.
Okay, so it's not all about swaddling blankets and handing out cigars. There's some serious medical knowledge involved here.
Absolutely. The career guide even used the term first line of defense, which I thought was pretty powerful.
Intense. And the examples they gave, I mean, we're talking about potentially managing a postpartum hemorrhage while simultaneously resuscitating a newborn.
Yeah, talk about thinking on your feet. It's clear this job requires incredible mental fortitude.
For sure. It's about so much more than just delivering babies. It's about delivering calm and expertise in high-pressure situations.
Exactly, which actually segues perfectly into another point RoleCatcher highlighted, the unexpected skills of a midwife.
Oh, yeah, like what? Fill me in.
Well, you'd think it's all about medical know-how, and don't get me wrong, that's crucial.
Right.
But there's this fascinating emphasis on emotional intelligence that I wasn't expecting.
Oh, I love that. You know me, I'm all about those human connection vibes. But to see it actually quantified in the career guide,
Mm-hmm.
that was really striking.
Like with the social perceptiveness being listed at 70% necessary for the job.
Exactly, 70%. That's even higher than monitoring vital signs, which sits at 66%.
It makes you realize that a midwife isn't just dealing with physical processes. They're dealing with people at an incredibly vulnerable and emotionally charged time.
Totally. It's about reading the room, providing reassurance, almost like a therapist and a medical professional rolled into one.
That's a great way to put it. They're supporting women, not just delivering babies.
Exactly. Now, my inner geek has to ask about the tech side of things. What's the delivery room scene like these days?
Oh, it's evolving rapidly. We're talking ultrasound, fetal monitoring, electronic medical records. It's a whole new world.
So not just a stethoscope and a reassuring hand squeeze anymore.
Definitely not. These tools are game changers, allowing midwives to make quicker, more informed decisions. It's pretty remarkable.
Okay, so we're seeing more tech integration. That makes sense. But with this growing demand for midwives that the guide mentioned, I'm guessing there are two sides to that coin, right?
Absolutely. It's not all sunshine and newborn snuggles. You've got flexibility and high job satisfaction, which are definite perks.
For sure.
But on the flip side, you're dealing with long hours, potential burnout, and let's be real, the emotional toll can be significant too, witnessing not just joy, but sometimes heartache.
Yeah, that pros and cons section didn't sugarcoat it. Definitely something aspiring midwives need to consider carefully. So let's say you're ready to jump in. What does that career path actually look like? RoleCatcher outlined these stages, entry-level, junior, and senior.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
It does, but what's the actual difference between, say, a junior midwife and someone considered senior? Is it just about how many years you've been doing it?
Experience plays a big role, for sure. At the entry level, you're mainly assisting, conducting those basic assessments, learning the ropes under the guidance of more seasoned midwives.
Makes sense. So like an apprenticeship almost.
Exactly. Then, as you progress to junior midwife, you're handling more independently, taking on more complex deliveries, collaborating more with other medical professionals. You're not just following instructions anymore, you're making judgment calls.
Oh, wow. So a huge jump in responsibility.
Definitely. And it's not just about the technical skills, it's about building that confidence, that ability to lead and inspire confidence in the families you're serving.
That's so important, especially in such a personal and emotional field. So you go from assisting with deliveries to leading them. That makes sense. But how does that translate to actually finding those jobs? I mean, the job market is a whole different beast these days,
It really is.
especially with all this AI stuff we keep hearing about. How is artificial intelligence changing the game for job seekers, especially in a field as human-focused as midwifery? That's got to be a fascinating intersection.
It's wild. But don't worry, we're not talking about robot midwives taking over the world. at least not yet.
Okay, good. Because that's a whole other deep dive we can save for another day.
Definitely. But seriously, AI is changing the job hunting game in ways we never could have imagined.
So how does it actually work? Give me the inside scoop. What did RoleCatcher say?
Well, they had this whole section called Beat the Automated Recruiter, which immediately caught my eye. Because it turns out a lot of hospitals and healthcare systems are using AI to scan resumes and applications now.
Wait, really? Even for midwife positions?
Even for midwife positions.
Yeah.
So before a human even sees your qualifications, an algorithm has already made some judgments.
Whoa, okay, that's both impressive and a little intimidating.
Right. It's like, how do you even tailor your resume for a robot? But that's where RoleCatcher comes in with their AI-powered tools.
Okay, hold on. Did you say AI-powered resume builder? How does that even work?
It's actually pretty cool. You upload your basic information, your experience, all that jazz, and their AI analyzes the job descriptions you're interested in. It figures out the keywords, the skills, the kind of language that gets flagged as a good match. It's like having a secret decoder ring for each job posting.
That's amazing. So you're not just throwing your resume into a black hole and hoping for the best. You're giving it a little AI boost to get noticed.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of tailoring your resume for every single application. Let's be real, that's the worst part.
Oh, tell me about it. Spending hours tweaking every little detail for different jobs. It's exhausting. But what about cover letters? That's always been my downfall. I can never get the tone right.
Right. You want to sound confident, but not cocky, and genuine, but not cheesy. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
But don't worry, they have a tool for that too. RoleCatcher's AI-powered cover letter builder analyzes the job description and suggests phrases, bullet points. It's like having a writing partner who also happens to be a mind-reading career coach.
Oh, wow. That would have saved me so much stress in the past. Staring at that blank page, trying to condense my entire professional soul into a few paragraphs.
The struggle is real. But it doesn't have to be with these tools. It's about working smarter, not harder, which is something I think midwives can appreciate.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got our AI-enhanced resume, our perfectly crafted cover letter. How do we find the right places to apply? Is it still just endless scrolling through job boards?
That's the beauty of RoleCatcher. They have this job matching algorithm that blows those generic job sites out of the water.
Oh, yeah. What makes it so special?
It considers all sorts of factors. Your location, desired salary, even your long-term career goals. Then it connects you with employers who are actively seeking candidates like you. You're not just sending out applications into the void, you're targeting the right opportunities from the get-go.
Okay, that's huge. Especially in a field like midwifery, where burnout is a real concern. Who has time to wade through a million irrelevant job postings? This sounds like a game changer.
It really is. And it highlights something crucial about this whole conversation. Yes, technology is changing the job hunting landscape, but it's not about replacing human connection.
I was just thinking that.
It's about empowering midwives with the tools they need to navigate that process more effectively so they can focus on what truly matters. Caring for moms and babies.
So well said. It's about working smarter, not harder. I love it. But speaking of changes in midwifery, it's not just the job hunt that's evolving, right?
No.
What about the care itself? I mean, we've got telehealth becoming more and more common. And what about those wearable health trackers everyone's obsessed with? Are those playing a role in midwifery too?
You're hitting all the right points. Telehealth is definitely changing the game. Imagine prenatal checkups from the comfort of your own couch. No more battling traffic or taking time off work for every little thing.
Right, especially for women in rural areas or those with mobility issues. That accessibility is huge.
Exactly. And the wearables. Oh yeah, they're making their way into the delivery room too and beyond. We're seeing wearables that track contractions, monitor fetal heart rate remotely.
Hold on, are you telling me there's an app that can tell you when you're going into labor?
Pretty much. It's all about giving women more information and control throughout their pregnancy and birth experiences.
I can definitely see how that would be empowering. Knowledge is power, right? But on the flip side, I imagine it could be a little overwhelming too.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that balance, right? Using technology to enhance the experience, not dictate it. But okay, we've talked tech, we've talked career paths, we've even touched on the emotional side of things. But we haven't really dived into the nitty-gritty of actually landing a midwifery job. What can RoleCatcher tell us about that?
So we've talked about all these amazing resources RoleCatcher provides, but how do those resources actually translate into landing that dream job?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And it's not just about having a killer resume and acing the interview, although those things definitely help.
Of course, those are important.
But it's also about knowing where to look, who to connect with, and that's where RoleCatcher really shines with their integrated job boards.
Oh, yeah, we touched on that earlier. Tell me more about that. How are those different from just using a regular old job site?
Well, for starters, they're specifically curated for healthcare professionals. So you're not wading through a sea of irrelevant postings for, like, software developers and marketing gurus.
Right, you're in the right neighborhood from the get-go. Less noise, more focus. I like it.
Exactly. And because RoleCatcher already has all your information, your skills, your preferences, they can connect you with employers who are actively seeking candidates just like you.
So it's like a matchmaking service, but for your career. That takes the pressure off those applications.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Mm.
But even with the perfect job board and a streamlined application process, you still have to get through that interview.
Right, and that's where that beat the automated recruiter section comes in, right? We keep circling back to that, so it's got to be important.
It really is. Like we talked about earlier, a lot of hospitals and healthcare systems are using AI to screen applications now. So before a human even sees your smiling face on that Zoom call, an algorithm has already made some decisions about you.
So how do you make sure you're putting your best digital foot forward, so to speak?
That's where RoleCatcher's insights are so valuable. They've analyzed thousands of job descriptions to understand what those AI gatekeepers are looking for. It's not about tricking the system. It's about understanding how it works.
Right, like learning the secret handshake.
Exactly. And their platform can help you do just that. It can flag any potential issues with your resume, suggest alternative phrasing to better align with AI preferences.
So you're basically optimizing your resume for both humans and robots.
You got it. But let's say you've aced the AI screening. You've landed that interview. Now what?
Time to shine. But easier said than done, right? Interviews can be nerve-wracking.
They can be. But RoleCatcher has you covered there, too, with their interview prep section. Remember those practice questions we talked about? They have a massive database of those. And here's the really cool part. They're categorized by role and even experience level.
So I'm not getting grilled with the same questions they'd ask someone who's been a midwife for 20 years.
Exactly. They understand that a new grad is going to have different strengths and experiences than someone who's been doing this for decades.
That's amazing. It's like having a personalized cheat sheet for your interview.
And it gets even better. They have this feature where you can record yourself answering the questions and then get AI-powered feedback.
Wait, hold on. AI feedback on my interview skills. Tell me more about that. That sounds both amazing and terrifying.
I know, right? But it's actually incredibly helpful. The AI analyzes your pacing, your tone, even your body language. It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
Okay, that is kind of amazing, like having your own personal Simon Cowell, but hopefully a little nicer, right?
Exactly. But, it all comes back to this idea of using technology to empower ourselves.
I was just thinking that. It's not about replacing human connection, it's about enhancing it.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, midwifery is about so much more than just the technical aspects.
Absolutely. It's about compassion, empathy, and being present for those incredibly powerful moments in people's lives.
Well said. And I think that's a beautiful note to end on.
I agree. So, to everyone listening, if you're feeling that call to midwifery, if you're drawn to this incredible blend of science and compassion, know that the future is bright.